Hello, and welcome to Chain Breakers. We are a Christian recovery program that focuses on the road to recovery using the 12 steps. As you work and study the steps, you will begin to step into the future. Hey guys, welcome. Welcome to Chain Breakers. We are a 12-step recovery program that studies the steps you will step into the future that God has planned for each one of you. We use various recovery materials, including the Bible, AA Big Book, NA Basic Text, Celebrate Recovery, and other relevant sources. We want to make it clear that this is not an AA or NA meeting. We are not affiliated with either fellowship. Our mission is very simple: life change through broken chains. We are called to change the world of recovery by bringing people to the knowledge of the true God that will set them free and break their chains of addiction. We know that when you get a revelation of who God is, it will cause a revolution in your life, resulting in freedom from addiction. At Chain Breakers, we go from desperation to restoration through the 12 steps and the power of Jesus Christ. It's through his power that we have become chain breakers, and we invite you to join us. Our message is hope, freedom, and new life in Christ. Our promise is redemption, full restoration, and abundant recovery. We aim to help you build a life you don't need to escape from. We purpose to save the lost and disciple the saved through sponsorship, spiritual mentorship, 12-step recovery meetings, fellowship, and meaningful relationships with God and others as objectives to accomplish our mission. Our destiny is to help you reach yours. Welcome to the family. If you're not a Christian, please know that you're wanted and welcome here. We will pass the basket for donations to help pay for weekly expenses, including free literature and Bibles that we give to patients when we're bringing our meeting into treatment centers for H&I. We encourage sponsorship. A sponsor is someone who will take you through the 12 steps. We also encourage you to get a list of phone numbers to help build a support network. If you are willing and able to sponsor, please raise your hand and keep them up for a moment.
Thank you for your service.
If you need a sponsor, please talk to one of these people after the meeting or see us at the front and we'll help you get connected to someone. Do we have any newcomers or visitors to the group that would like to introduce themselves?
My name is Austin Alcoholic.
Hi,
Welcome.
Hi, JR. Welcome.
Brian.
Hi,
Hi, Brian. Welcome.
In the back.
Hi, Mike. Welcome. Hi, Monica. Welcome.
So one more.
Hi, Eddie. Welcome.
Can we get a phone list for all visitors, please? Any newcomers or visitors, if you would like someone to reach out to you, as we understand how it's very hard to pick up that 1,000-pound phone, simply fill out the top portion of the card that's on the table, or check in on the GCCC app, search GCCC Pray in your app store, and you can scan the QR code to pull up the app and to download. And simply check in Chain Breakers button. And then someone can get in touch with you. It's not a necessity. We respect your decision to be anonymous. It's just an option if you would like somebody to reach out to you. Please help us serve and minister to you through the ministry of prayer by checking in on the app. What this does is print out a list of names of everyone that's checked in that night, guaranteeing that we'll be praying for you by name throughout the week, as well as on our Prayer Warriors weekly prayer call. All you have to do is hit the button to receive prayer. You can also come to the Next Step table to receive prayer tonight before you leave, and that's out in the foyer there. Don't leave here with a burden. Instead, leave it here at the altar where it can actually change your situation and change you. First-time guests, we also encourage you to bring the connection card to the Next Steps table, as we would love to pray for you and give you a Chainbreakers cup and a free gift to thank you for joining us tonight and welcome you to the family. If you want to get involved, the commitment sign-up sheet is at the front table. Just put your name down. And if you don't want to get involved, you know what we say here at Chainbreakers.
Get involved anyway.
If you would like to make Chainbreakers your home group, you can do so by signing up at the front or see any home group member. Would the home group members please raise your hands? Woo, woo. Thank you for your service. Okay, so finally, we want to give a shout out to the global family watching online. Feel free to put in the chat where you are watching from so we can welcome you. My name is Angel. I'm a recovered alcoholic and addict.
Hi.
Hello. And this is my friend Renee. She's going to be giving her testimony tonight. Mm-hmm. So please welcome Renee. Renee!
Thanks, guys. I love you guys. If you don't mind, I'd like to start off with a prayer first.
Good idea.
Dear God, fill me with your love and your peace. Eliminate my words and speak through me, words that bring peace, healing, and hope. Give me words that will bless the lives of the people in this room and online. I thank you and I love you. I pray this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Okay. So I grew up in an alcoholic home. Both my parents were alcoholics. There was a lot of fighting. My dad was abusive to my mother. I was in the house with me and my sister and my older brother. I definitely grew up very shy, very quiet, very much an introvert. I kept to myself a lot, didn't have many friends. I always felt like, I guess since from a young age, that I was never good enough. My self-esteem was low. I don't know, I always felt that since the beginning from a young age. But yeah, like I said, like my parents, there was a lot of fighting, a lot of yelling, abuse. My parents, and I do remember too, at a young age, there was a lot of drinking, a lot of, smoking weed, a lot of people coming in and out of our house. I remember at like maybe 6 or 8 years old, like there would be cans of beer left around, and I would go around and like take a sip, and like nobody would even say anything. So it was just like, it was always, it was normal to me. When I was about 12 years old, my parents divorced. Me and my sister went to live with my mother. Both parents actually got clean and sober after they divorced. My mom was, she was a great mom growing up. After she got clean and sober, she worked 3 jobs. Me and my sister, she took care of us. We had everything we needed. She actually became a drug and alcohol counselor.
Wow.
Yeah, so she was very, talked to us, so we knew, like, and also I remember too, like my dad was very into AA, so I got very introduced to that at a young age. We would go to meetings with my dad, go to like the functions, like the AA dances, so like it was very much a part of my life even at a young age. I say the first time I remember drinking, it wasn't until I was about 16, the first time I drank. And of course, I drank till I threw up. It was with my cousin. Soon after that, when I did drink, I just remember not being so shy, being able to open myself up to people, not feeling as insecure, was able to like talk to people. I just remember being so shy that I literally be scared to death to even open my mouth to speak, because I was so insecure. And when I did open my mouth, people would be like, oh my gosh, she talks. And then I really didn't want to talk. So I was like, yeah, thanks. That makes me feel so much better. So I drank at 16 for the first time. After that, I met a guy. His name was Eric. And he was, a drinker. He smoked pot like every day. And he showed me, love and affection, the kind I didn't get as a child. So, like, I gravitated toward him very quickly. I was very, pretty much, he just made me feel loved. And that's something I was missing from my dad. My mom was very loving. She was very nurturing. But my dad, we just never had this, like, emotional connection, never had... It was just, he was physically in my life, but as far as, like, I couldn't, like, open up to my dad and talk to him about my feelings. Like, we just never had that connection. I went to his house every other weekend. He was physically there, but that connection was just, I don't know, it was lacking. So when, a guy gave me attention, I gravitated toward it. I ended up, and my mom, she worked overnight. So me and my sister, when she would go to work, like, we would have parties at the house. We would, all night long, she would come home. And then me and my sister both moved out. Oh, no, wait. My mom also had our boyfriends living in our house. She was 14, I was 17. She allowed our boyfriends to move in. She worked at a group home. She was very into, like, helping, adolescents. And so, like, she was very much a caretaker. So, like, she saw, and of course we picked, like, toxic. It's not like these guys were, good for us. So, like, my mom was very much, like, wanted to help people. So she would invite them. So they had a troubled home, so she let them stay with us. Which, is not very healthy at that age, but she did. I'd say about age 19, and my sister's about, me and my sister both moved out into our own place. And my mom pretty much got, like, the empty nest syndrome. She was very lonely without us there. She actually relapsed and got very depressed, started relapsing, got into drinking really, really bad, and had a lot of mental health issues and very severe depression, to a point where she even tried to commit suicide. I, like my mom, was very much a caretaker, tried to help my mom as best I could. She was a great mom growing up, but like I said, when she got depressed, it was almost like I became the parent at that point. I didn't have, after she relapsed, it was pretty hard. It was pretty hard, the times when you need your mom to be there. Even as an adult, you know what I mean? She wasn't there. It was like I was taking care of her. The guy I was with ended up becoming very much verbally and mentally abusive. It was really hard. Very controlling. He began doing coke. I wasn't doing it. I was just, like, smoking pot every day with him, and, like, to the point where, like, he started doing coke, and I would, like, drive him to Philly to get it. I wasn't even getting any, like, what? Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Why would I do that? But yeah, I was taking them, putting my life at risk. Saw, like, a triple homicide at one point, like, crazy things that you put situations you put yourself in when you're using. It's just insane to me, thinking back now. But, like, God always, was watching over me. Like, throughout, like, thinking back now, like, I grew up Catholic, so I went to Catholic school for 12 years. I had God in my life, but, like, as a Catholic, I knew God as, like, a condemning God, what I was very fearful of. I was taught, if you don't go to church on Sunday, you're going to go to hell. If you do this sin or that sin, you're going to go to hell. So I was very fearful of God. I didn't have that, like, personal relationship with him. So it was very much just, go to church, kind of like do the right thing, but like just be careful, because if you don't do all the right things, you're going to go to hell. So it was very much like, it was like a fearful, condemning God. So, I ended up leaving that boyfriend, and let me see where I go after that. Okay, so then I remember my mom gave me my first Percocet. I had cramps one day. My mom's like, "Here, take a Percocet," and I was like, "This is what I've been missing." Literally, like, I was just, the insecurities went away. I was not depressed, because in that relationship, that was an abusive relationship, I was very much depressed, very down on myself, made to feel like I was worthless. Told every single day, you're not good enough. You're never gonna, be anything. So when I took that pill, all those feelings went away. I felt like I could do anything. So, she gave me that. Once she gave me that first Percocet, I wanted more and more and more. So I was always trying to find ways to get it. I ended up getting in a car accident. I have scoliosis in my back, so like I always had pain in my back. I ended up going to a pain management doctor, like many of us, how we started. So I was taking 5 milligram Percocets at the time when I first went to the doctor. And a month later, when I go back to that doctor, he's like, how's the medication working for you? And of course, I'm like, oh, it's not working that great. Well, that, a month after being on Perc 5s, he was like, here, try this, Oxycontin. It was when it first came out, was really, going strong. He was giving me, like 120 20 milligram, 120 10 milligram Oxycontin, plus 140 5 milligram Percocet for breakthrough pain. So I'm getting like 300 pills a month. So that quickly, escalated. I was taking them every day. I was running out early. Started sniffing them. Started using with my sister. Then my mom ended up going to the same doctor, started using with my mom. We're sharing our scripts. It gets out of control. Like, that's all I wanted. It's just crazy that, thinking back, using with my mother, that's just not what a parent's supposed to do, And, but for me, it was just she had them and I wanted them, and so I was going to use them with her. I didn't care who she was, she had what I wanted, and I had what she wanted, and we just used together. So, it got really, really bad. My sister was definitely a part of that, and to a point where we wanted to get help. So I went to rehab for the first time in 2005. My sister went to the same day. We went to 2 different rehabs. And I actually, I went to detox, got out, went into an Oxford house, and did pretty well. I was in the Oxford house for about a year. And I started doing the steps and everything, and I got around a network, but what I was missing was that relationship with God.
Yeah, we were talking about that.
It just really, I believed in God. I knew He was real. I would pray to Him when I needed something. You know what I mean? But it was not that personal relationship. Right. I didn't give my will over to God then. I just kind of went with the flow and did what the book said, but I just didn't have. I just knew something was missing. Mm-hmm. So, while I was in the Oxford house, I met another guy at an NA meeting. Great place to meet a guy. Yeah, so we started dating. I ended up getting pregnant 3 months after meeting him with my first daughter. I went on Suboxone at that point. And, pretty much stayed on Suboxone. I was, that's when I was in the Oxford house at that time. So, for a year, I did pretty well. Had my daughter, stayed clean. But after I had my daughter, I didn't really go to meetings anymore. I kind of just thought, I had it. I knew what I was doing. I didn't need to go to meetings anymore. And then that guy that I was with, the father of my daughter, he ended up relapsing and drinking. And when he drank, he got turned into a monster pretty much. He started becoming physically abusive. Very much, again, the verbal, the emotional, the mental abuse. But this time it was way more extreme. He put me in the hospital 2 times, headbutted me in the nose, broke my nose, punched me. He would be out all hours of the night. I was taking care of my daughter. I ended up getting pregnant again about a year later with my second daughter. And, I still was on Suboxone at this point, but, again, the self-esteem, made to feel like I was worthless. And now he's beating on me. Now I feel like I just felt stuck. I had not formed any type of connections. I moved around a lot, too. I was never in one place for very long enough to, make friends or build a network, because we were always moving around. And all I cared about was making sure my kids were safe. And, I wasn't allowed to work. I had to give him all my money. So I was home with the kids, while he was out doing whatever he wanted, going to the bar, cheating on me. It was not healthy at all. But, that's all I knew, my dad beat my mom. They fought all the time. That's what I thought love was, you know what I mean? I didn't know any different. So God, but I just still, thinking back, God definitely protected me. There was one night where, I just knew, I had to get away from him. If not, he was going to kill me. It just was getting to the point, of course, so I didn't want to feel that pain, so I took, would take his Percocets and stuff, and so, it just, using whatever I could pretty much get my hands on to take away that feeling of worthlessness, and, and at this point, my relationship with God was non-existent. I guess deep down, looking back, I guess I didn't feel like I deserved God's love. I didn't feel like I deserved love at all. So at this point, I really thought he was going to kill me. There was a point where I got a call from my neighbor, and she said that Micah is here at the house. I was in a car with a friend getting my kids ice cream, and she said he's standing outside with a bike chain wrapped around his hand, waiting for you to come home so he can kill you. So I just said, get the kids, go to the neighbor's house, I'll call the police, and then she calls and said he had a knife, and he's waiting for you to come home, and he wants to kill you. I just remember praying and just I didn't know what I was going to do. I called the cops, and they were no help. I mean, they literally were like, oh, I'll call him and try to talk to him, and when we get there, I'll talk to him. He's not going to stay there. He ended up running, of course, when they came. And, I was scared. I didn't know where he was going. I didn't want to stay at the house because I was afraid he was going to come and find me and kill me. So I stayed with a friend that night. And then the next day, my mom was living with us at the time. So I got a call from her. And she pretty much stayed there to make sure she knew where he was. So to kind of keep, make sure that he wasn't coming after me, and kind of to talk to him, I guess. So I just didn't know, I had no family that would take me in. I knew that, I could go to a friend's house, and sleep on their couch, but I wasn't leaving without my kids. And, it's hard for someone to yeah, come on, move in with your 2 kids, I'll help you. So, I just knew I had to get away, but I knew I wasn't going without my kids. So, so the next day, I know this is definitely by the grace of God, because I had no idea what I was going to do. I got a call. My mom called me and said that Micah bought a ticket to Ohio, and he got on a train, and he went to go live in Ohio with his brother. He just decided to leave. If anyone's been in abusive relationships, they don't just do that. They want to make sure they can control you. They want to, control every move you make, and he threatened me all the time to take the kids, and the fact that he literally got on a train, went to Ohio, gave me the chance to be able to like move on without him and keep my kids safe. So that definitely was God looking out for me. So then after that, and like my story is like relationship to relationship to relationship to relationship. Like I broke up with him. What did I do? Get into another relationship. And he moved in right away, and he liked to do coke and crack. So of course, that wasn't my thing, but it was there, so I did it. I ended up moving in with his family. He actually was really good to my kids. He was like a father to them. Their father, was in and out of their life. By this time, like, he was still in Ohio. He said he was coming back to New Jersey, but, like, he said he had changed, and all that. I didn't take him back or anything, but, like, I ended up talking to him. He didn't try to, like, take the kids. He didn't try to bother me. That, again, I know is by the grace of God, because that just doesn't happen. When you're in an abusive relationship and he moved back to Jersey, all I thought was, like, he's going to come after me or he's going to try to take my kids, and he didn't. He was in and out of their life. He was a father to him when he felt like it. Eventually, so the girls would go over there like once every few months when he felt like being in their life. They were supposed to go over to his house to visit one night, and they ended up not going. I don't remember why, but I get a call the next day from his brother, and I was told that in his sleep he died of, he choked on his own vomit when he was a drinker. So like he died, that's how he died. And my kids were supposed to be there that night, and by the grace of God, like they would have watched their father die. And although, like, it was a horrible thing, my kids, it's like all they wanted was their dad just to be there, and be a dad to them. And the fact that I had to, like, go home and tell my children that their dad, isn't here anymore was, like, the hardest thing I ever had to do. And at this time, they're in their, they're, like, 12 and, 10. And it's like that age is very much, it was just really hard on all of us. I break up with that guy, ended up moving in with a friend of mine that was like a second mother to me. I'm sorry, I forgot. A year before he passed away, I took care of my mom. She had COPD, and me and my daughters were living with her. And she got COPD, and I took care of her for a year. And she passed away. And then